finish them. It's already proven, I got them birds moving. All I do is win, I'm allergic to losing. Yellow gold Cuban, 9 mil Rugen. I show you what to do with them. Finish them, I'm through with them. They gon' have to jump me.
Tampa Catholic, you jetted from South Tampa and headed to Tampa Catholic for their spring game. Talk to me about that.
Got there midway through the third quarter. Score was 20-0 Tampa Catholic, and so I was assuming, and I was a little bit surprised by that because Nature Coast is a pretty respectable team. They've got Jawan Story, and now there's a new gentleman by the name of Isaac Bailey, this running back from up in Hernando County, who a lot of people are going to be talking about in the fall.
Now, the Story kid's big dog over there, right?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
And so, but Isaac Bailey was basically see at the back of the end zone speed. So he looked good, but thoroughly impressed with Tampa Catholic's offense.
Okay.
Couldn't have told that they had graduated 3/4 of that team.
Right.
And Coach Gregory over there and Coach Enriquez, but credit to where credit is due. Their quarterback Connor Lewis has a pretty good grasp already of what they're trying to do in the spring.
What year is he? You know?
He's going to be a senior.
Okay.
And then they have another gentleman by the name of Hunter Joyer, who everybody seems to know about, benching 485 pounds, 13 years old, and set the U.S. record for bench press. 6 foot 245, runs a 4.5 40. He's on everybody's list. Already formal offers from Stanford, Connecticut, and Louisville. And he's got a 3.3 GPA, so he's not going to lack for suitors.
And the Irish have an offer.
And the Irish have an offer, and it's one of his favorite schools. Hey, and Florida State's one of his favorite schools. Seminoles, are you listening? But it's one of those things where, and he's also, I said he looked like a little miniature Jerome Bettis. The boy's got quick feet, and with that kind of size, and I swear, it took 8 Nature Coast guys to bring him down towards the end, and they penalty called it back. Like I said, theme for the entire season was penalties, but
this guy will kill you to death inside of 3 rounds.
I see them doing damage in 2B. Now, see, you got Robinson in 2A, and you got the classes shifted at that point. Bowles is their nemesis, and it turns out even in baseball, Bowles is their nemesis. They're the nemesis of everybody in 2B.
Right.
But Tampa Catholic, Lake Highland Prep is going to probably be it's them and Lake Highland Prep. Actually, kind of familiar with Lake Highland Prep growing up just north of Orlando. They're going to have to get past them, but I could easily see Tampa Catholic moving 2-3 rounds deep into the playoffs this year.
Okay.
I don't see any reason for them to fall off. Now, granted, there's variables along the way, injuries and what have you. Haven't seen their full schedule yet, but their district schedule right now. I mean, there's no there's nothing keeping them from being first or second best in that district.
He's just another fighter.
No, he ain't just another fighter. This guy is a wrecking machine.
Go back to the Hillsborough cluster. As Hillsborough Middleton, neighborhood rivalry, always a close game. It doesn't matter who the 10-0 team is, who the 6-0 team is. It doesn't matter. Hillsborough Middleton is always a tough game. So let's start right there. Game ended up a 9-8 score, and probably the way the game went, that should have been the score. It was a sloppy game, penalty-wise. Penalties killed Hillsborough. Middleton and Hillsborough are very vanilla on offense. Middleton has always traditionally keeps a nice group of looking players. They always look very good. They're physically, they're put together. They look
great in the 7-on-7. That group up there, Gaither, look great in the 7-on-7.
And it's hard to tell from the spring game how good they're going to be because, like I said, they're very vanilla. They're very vanilla on offense. The quarterback can throw it a little bit. They got guys that can run and catch it. So we'll see. I'm curious to see how Middleton does this season. Hillsborough on the other side of the ball, they've got some pieces. I expect them to be pretty good towards mid-season. Penalties killed the drives. Matter of fact, Middleton had an 8-minute drive to start the first quarter. Then Hillsborough came back and they started putting some things on offense and defense, and ended up winning the game 9-8, and probably should have been a 9-8 game with all the penalties. It was a very sloppy football game as far as on offense for the Terriers. Tim Randolph is going to be a pretty good little running back. He had 2 scores, 1 called back, and Eric Bass played a heck of a football game, which is a fan favorite of him.
Yeah.
Eric played both sides of the ball, had a touchdown called back on offense, and had a safety on defense, and caught a few balls, and made a few tackles, did a little bit of everything.
That boy Bass.
Charles Lovett, he's a special player. He didn't touch the ball a whole lot, maybe 3 or 4 times on offense, had an interception on defense. Both teams had a number of kids on the sideline for one reason or the other, but neither team was at full strength, probably just like every other team in the county. Nobody's at full strength at the spring game. But I expect both those teams to be pretty good. I expect Middleton to be pretty good in their classification. Hillsborough and that Armwood cluster is going to be tough, as always, and we'll see who comes out of there with East Bay and also King.
There's no gimmicks. There's none of that. It's hard work.
Robinson is a very impressive team this year. They look the part. I will say that. Blake is Blake. I can't. Blake. They came out. They looked like they had about 22, 23 guys dressed. But Blake obviously wasn't. They showed heart. They weren't going to give up. Which is all you can ask from a situation like that. Just you expect the best from your kids, and if your kids give you the best, then you can't do much better than that. They can only work with what they work with. But Robinson, I got to tell you, y'all Robinson folks know how to throw a party. They had a DJ set up. They had their own pregame music like it was a basketball game, like a Final Four basketball game. You had David Wells, and you had, Coach Raheem Morris walking around. You had every D1 coach you could think of, and you had people in the stands. And it was really a baptism of Hillsborough County football in a smaller sense that, I was really quite pleased to be a part of on Friday night. So.
Greenland dropped